I have one final story for us, you guys.
Let's go.
All right, Rico, you're gonna be like, holy moly. Because New Hampshire Marijuana Commission fails to find consensus for a legalization policy. A state commission created to come up with a plan to legalize marijuana in New Hampshire has failed to find consensus on a proposal top lawmakers in both parties had hoped would provide a template for legalization. Instead, the commission will file a report that contemplates state-created franchises to sell adult-use cannabis under the control of the New Hampshire Liquor Commission without recommending the policy actually became law. In a quote, there is a clear majority saying we don't want to move this forward, Representative Tim Cahill, a Republican from Raymond, said moments before the committee voted 7-2 to issue the report. The unexpected outcome followed a lengthy debate of procedure, the commission's role, and what options lawmakers had when it came to recording the commission's judgment on its own report. In a quote, this is cheesy maneuvering, Representative Susan Homolina, a Republican from Hollis, said deep in the debate of the commission report that backers hope may still provide lawmakers with a model. She also says, trust me, someone is going to file something. Said Senator Darrell Abbas, the Salem Republican who led the committee. And as drafted, the committee proposal would permit adults to buy adult-use cannabis through stores franchised by the New Hampshire Liquor Commission. The state would impose a 15% fee on retail outlets' gross sales, and revenue would be earmarked for tax relief, law enforcement, and mental and behavioral health issues. The committee could not reach agreement on penalties for public use of marijuana, or if the policy should trigger automatic annulments of past personal use marijuana infractions. Governor Chris Sununu, who has generally opposed the legalization of cannabis but also called it inevitable, has signaled he could permit adult use cannabis to be legalized if its sales and marketing were tightly regulated by the Liquor Commission. But his desire for specific new controls, including a limit on political activity by franchise holders and a 15-store cap on cannabis outlets, were late-breaking wrinkles as the committee struggled to find agreement. In a quote, I can tell you from the point of view of the governor's office, we are adamant about that number, said David Mara, Sununu's advisor on addiction and behavioral health. Citing free speech concerns, the committee quickly scuttled Sununu's idea to limit political activity by people in the cannabis business, but did back the governor's proposed cap on stores over the opposition of Paul Morissette, who lives in New Hampshire and is a partner of Maine-based East Coast Cannabis. In a quote, you are not going to collect the tax you are projecting in 15 stores. You are setting up the Liquor Commission to fail, Morissette warned the commission. But by the meeting's close, the likelihood that New Hampshire will quickly join every other New England state in permitting adult use cannabis for adult use purposes felt far off. From the onset Monday, the longtime participants in the debate were emphasizing that any work the commission completed would inevitably be revised by lawmakers anyway. And in a quote, this isn't going to end, Republican Senator Tim Lang of Sanborn noted, we are just getting to the beginning of this. Well, New Hampshire, state-run stores, they're talking about 15 of them. Interesting. What do you guys think about this?
It looks like they're going the exact opposite of the direction we covered earlier this week. Was it yesterday's story?
Mm-hmm.
It says that they're trying to limit the number of people in cannabis from actually having political affiliations or even engaging in political conversations. Is that what's going on here?
Yeah, well, I think that was part of the curveball that they were mentioning in regards to what happened during this committee hearing. That's what it sounds like.
Doesn't make
to
sense.
me.
Every state wants to reinvent the wheel, right?
Well,
Right.
I'm
want to redo everything.
I mean, it's kind of like, it's kind of like being a dog. You just want to just go and mark your territory everywhere and have your own little individuality that shows how we did it better here than there, and da 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 da. And that
Who
becomes
does
their
that help,
talking
though? Who
points.
does that?
It helps them
Yeah.
because that becomes their talking point and things that they can put on their resume and like, hey, look what we did here, and this is why we
It's,
did
it's
it.
always it's always these Republicans,
It's not
Jason.
always these
Those
Republicans, bro.
Republicans,
Stop it.
they claim
Stop
to
the
be
cap.
pro business, claim to be
Stop the
pro this and
cap.
pro that, and then when they get in control and they get handed
I'll tell you what they are being
a
is
boon
they're
in
being
the cannabis
anti-freedom.
industry,
They are being
yeah,
anti-freedom.
they mess it up before it even gets off the ground.
Yeah, they need to look themselves in the mirror in regards with this, because they are not about the people's liberty if they're trying to prohibit cannabis.
They are not patriots.
Well,
No.
that's yet to be
They're
determined.
patriots.
That's yet to be determined. They
Patriots.
could just be politically posturing for the bargaining table, and when they already know it's
be.
the inevitable end.
You know, if that's how you guys want to take it now, they still will not admit defeat, though, right?
Never admit defeat, because we're never defeated.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's just your
Say
perspective.
so. Never
Yeah.
concede. Never concede.
That's right. Yep.
But yeah, hopefully the citizens of New Hampshire get what they want out of this, and maybe they can put up since it's getting blocked as of right now. When is Sununu up for re-election?
I think he is up for re-election in because he just got re-elected in this previous election, so he would be in the next off year election.
Well, maybe they can get some support in both chambers, that want to push this forward and want to be serious about it. If they want to be serious about getting some of that green gold.
I'm not. I'm not too hopefully optimistic. Based off of this article, I think what New Hampshire would need is they would need a voter referendum on the bill. I don't think they can really trust their legislature to do this actually properly. I think you're going to need some advocacy groups out there that want to put together a ballot measure in order to have it crafted properly, or else it's going to get screwed over by the government.
Oh. I'm just trying to be cautiously optimistic, Jason. You want to be Mr. Pessimism all day long. You just stick with your negativity.
I just live in truth and reality.
Truthiness.
Yeah.
Welcome to Truth and Reality, bro. It's been a minute.
The Truth and Reality show.
That's right.
Featuring Jason.
That's right. I got my little bottle of red pills, and here you go. Here's the truth.
You got anything on this one, Todd?
What's that?
Anything on this one, Todd? Anything you want to add to this one?
Look, I think that politicians need to unpolitic themselves away from cannabis, or focus on legalizing it and making it what the people want, not what they want. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Pass laws and they say, well, wait a second, we didn't think it was going to pass, so we didn't make a plan yet.
Yeah, that's so backwards crazy to me, but whatever.
Tis politics.
Poor planning on
Tis the American way.
Yeah. Poor planning on their part creates opportunity on our part, I feel.
A big alcohol lobby, I guess, in New Hampshire.
Big alcohol, and the state controls all the sales, because all the state the liquor stores are all the state. My cousins in Vermont, they often tell me that they go to New Hampshire specifically to buy alcohol because it's so much cheaper there than actually buying it in Vermont.
I can see.
I don't know why they even have to get involved in the cannabis industry. That's my thing.
Well, they're already involved in alcohol. It's just the same thing. It's just like Washington State. Washington State has state-run liquor stores, and they run a portion of the cannabis. Like in Washington State, it's a third. So if you pay $45, the brand gets $15, the store gets $15, and the state gets $15. That's how that works.
Yeah, it's the same thing in Virginia. The ABC stores, man.
Yep.
Can't buy liquor on Sundays, but you get moonshine any time of day.
Those people have already accepted bigger government in those states in regards to those types of things. So I don't see why it's out of character for them to do it in that state. I don't see it as being out of character. What do you mean? Bro. Washington's a blue state. What are you talking about?
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, Washington is a blue state. Yes.
Through and through.
Yeah. Yes. Have you seen Seattle lately?
I know so many hardcore Republicans in the state of Washington. They love their freedom out there.
You probably know all of them then, if that's the case.
Yeah, I do.
Because they're way outnumbered by crazies out there.
No, they're just the loudest. They're just the loudest ones, and they're the ones that get the most burn. But there's plenty of conservatives.
So are you saying they
in
have
Washington.
they have the most dead relatives, and when it comes to election time?
Yeah, and they believe in
geez.
keeping those slave owners.
We're talking about election fraud suddenly. Oh my God!
You know, on
It's
that
time to
note,
go. It's time
on
to
that
go.
note,
Election